Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Automated Analytics Podcast. Today we're going to meet Richard Young, one of our clients. We learn about how he's revolutionised recruitment, but also a little bit about him being a recording artist. If you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe. Richard, obviously a lot of our listeners and viewers would like to know a little bit more about you as a person beforehand. So tell us a little bit about your background, your career, what you've done so far.
I've had the opportunity to work across a lot of different sectors as well in HR, and very senior HR roles in retail, worked with Amazon, looking after their senior hiring. So I've flitted in between HR and recruitment over my career. So I worked at Carlsberg, Ritvic soft drinks, had stints in banking and financial services, set up a business as well. And I found myself in the last 10 years working in the healthcare space.
Yep.
Latterly, the last 3 years with Active Care Group.
So who are Active Care? Tell us a bit more about them.
So Active Care Group is the leading provider of complex care in the UK. 4,500 employees. Our vision is a world where people with the most complex problems are surrounded by collaborative, holistic care, so that they can live their best lives, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
And we have 3 pillars to our success. We believe if you can create an organization with great environments, and if you can give people the right tools, great tools, and also, if more importantly, you can hire and employ the best people, that'll stand you in good stead in terms of developing the business, and particularly for the care that we provide for very vulnerable members of society.
Yeah, indeed.
And we live by a set of values as well, which I think permeate through everything we do. Which I want to talk about a bit, because we're very focused on being kind and honest, very focused on listening, learning, and acting, which is very relevant around all things AI. And we like to consider ourselves fair and inclusive, and that's with all colleagues, as well as our service users.
And your role with Active Care, what does a day look like for you, Richard?
So I joined 3.5 years ago to help with the transformation of the position of the organisation in the employment market. Been around a good while, certainly known for care in the home. For a long time. We have a series of residential services, and we've got a really good pathway for patients, as it were, right the way through. So if you've got a traumatic road traffic accident, where it's resulted in a traumatic injury, physical injury, we can provide neuro rehabilitation, we can provide spinal and respiratory support. In a variety of environments, whether they be residential, hospital environment settings, or even in the home. And we're uniquely positioned, I think, in the market in healthcare, because we're able to span that entire, if you like, pathway.
Yes. And so I guess what I would call it's more domiciliary complex care.
Absolutely.
Is what Active Care provides.
And in turn, you asked me about my day. So I joined to try and help reposition the brand, and to really sort of bring lots of very talented people into the business. And I've been very fortunate that I think the organisation we have today is very different from when I joined. Principally because we've managed to recruit a lot of great talent. Who've been doing lots of great things in all sorts of different directions around digital and otherwise.
Which I guess for a service business, it is absolutely on the people that you employ. It's not about necessarily the product, it's your colleagues, because you're a service-based business.
And that's why the behaviours are so important to us. Having an obsession with our, if you like, our customers, but our service users, having people that are focused on a bias for action, people that are willing to listen, learn, and act, and kind of absorb things around them and make a difference in people's lives, and that's the kind of people that we look to bring in at every level. So we all need to live and breathe that in the DNA.
That's brilliant. Okay, so that's Richard at work. What does Richard get up to at home?
Okay, so I'm a musician. I play bass guitar.
Really?
I play in a covers band. A few years ago, I had an originals band. I used to write songs. Had some of those published.
Really?
Have some of those.
Fantastic.
Go on Spotify. If you want to hear some of my original music, it's Shake Hands Eric on Spotify.
Shake hands, Eric on Spotify. You heard it first. Yeah,
Yeah, available for weddings and bar mitzvahs.
Excellent stuff, Richard. That's fascinating. I actually didn't know that. You're a musician. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a creative hobby. I mean, I really wish that I could write music, play music. You know, my mum paid for me to kind of play the piano for years, and I think I got past. I think I do chopsticks and chimes. And then I worked. I was tone deaf, but that's really creative being a musician.
Well, I've it's always been part of my life, and actually many years I was very embarrassed about it because I didn't like to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I've realised that I've learned as much from being in bands and around bands because it's about teamwork. It's about people. You've got to be in tune. You've got to be in harmony. To coin a phrase, but you've got to be able to work. You've got to be able to work with other people under pressure. When the red light goes on, you've got to be able to. And you've got to be able to engage with your audience as well. So there's lots of skills in being in bands that actually cross over into being in business.
Fantastic. So you've been using our solution Talent Track for, I think it's just over a year now. So why did you come to us? I mean, I'm sure this is right to hear. What was the problem that you were looking to solve?
Well, what sparked me up really is that we get a volume of people interested in coming to work for our organisation now. It wasn't the case, sort of 3 or 4 years ago, but we really do have a high volume of people coming at us. And one of the biggest problems is we get huge numbers of CVs, which come through. And we were, up until probably 18 months ago, we were manually sifting, or a year ago, really, we were manually sifting through those. So you get a pile of applications over the weekend. And there'd be a team of people that would be reviewing those CVs, probably on Tuesday before they get to a decent CV. So we're getting high volumes. We're also spending quite a lot on sponsorship to try and draw and attract through the various job platforms. So we were investing heavily. So the problem, I think, really was to try and take some of that time away. And AI lends itself, I think, to doing sort of some repetitive stuff.
Yes.
Setting up the opportunity to interrogate a CV, if you like, in one occasion, and give us quality hires. And it's been a raging success, if I'm honest, over the last year. In terms of working with Talent Track, particularly, where we've been able to really take a lot of the time out for the guys and they're now engaged in a lot more interesting work.
Yeah, because when we first met, I was astounded that probably about, I think 70% of CVs you were throwing them away because they weren't relevant, but you hadn't spent the time to do that, and now that whole process is automated.
Yeah, absolutely. We were getting so many applications. We didn't also very often know the source through our applicant tracking system, so it's been enormously helpful having that integrated, so that we can track the source. And we've been able to find different ways to address that problem of managing volumes. So if you're going to ask me about that, I'd love to tell you how I think we've been doing that through Talent Track.
Okay, so tell me then, Richard. What a great link.
Well, we've optimized the one-click apply from Indeed. We've been able to use really good screener questions per vacancy as well, which has been enormously helpful. We've had there's an element of soft right to work as well, to be honest, because we were getting, especially post-Brexit, certainly. We did pre-Brexit have a lot of people that that we were sponsoring and that were working here from overseas. We don't have access to that population so easily now. So we need to be able to kind of remove them from the application process, as it were. And I think as well, being able to track where candidates are coming from and being able to play around, if you like, with the sponsorship through Talent Track, we've been able to really have a high impact in terms of the quality. And initially, the numbers went down, and then they come back with a rage in terms of the number of quality, and also it's driven the cost down as well.
Yes, so
significant cost.
So it's interesting when you talk about the, as you say, that right to work, because I think since Brexit, it's been a real problem for employers. As you say, it's lots of applications, but how can they get those sifted down automatically so you haven't got to throw, because it's an industry in itself, throw away 700 CVs on a Monday when you've got 1,000 applications. Whereas AI can actually do it for you.
Absolutely. And I think the tech's been really helpful because what it's principally done is it's taken a lot of the legwork out of some of that sifting. And as I said earlier, my team are now not spending the first 2 days of the week sifting through piles of CVs. They're getting to the quality candidates, which is really good because it means that we can contact them, we can increase the number of interviews, we can hire more people, and that's been obviously has an impact on in terms of the business, in terms of our retention as well.
Yeah.
Because we've been able to bring people in quickly. And one of the issues that I think has always been a challenge in the healthcare sector is that staffing levels often massively impact the quality of care.
Yes. Yeah.
And so therefore addressing that as a root issue quickly pace has been one of the things that's helped us, I think.
Yeah, because you're a service business, and again, you're only going to be as strong as the people that actually deliver that service. And you're right, get them in quickly, the right quality quickly. I can see how that can have a massive impact on your business. So, in terms of your cost per application, because primarily when we sell Talent Track, it's all about reducing cost per application, but then driving more quality hires. What's Talent Track done for you?
So, only in the matter of a year, we've gone from £4.90, I think something like £4.90 per application, down to 94 pence per quality application. So we've reduced the cost per application by about 355%. That works out. Wow, significant slug away. And that's 4.29 actually, not 4.90, 4.29 down to 94 pence. It's increased the quality of applications that we're seeing as well.
Yeah.
So I think last month we had about 8,000 coming through out of 13.
Yeah.
That were quality applications that we could work with.
Which I'm guessing when you look at
it's around about 150%.
Yeah, I was going to say when we think about when we first started, I think we're generating probably a couple of thousand applications. Now, if you to get 8,000 quality, that's quite a step change.
Yeah. And given a different problem.
And then a good way
managing in terms of managing
a good problem.
Yeah.
And actually, what you've ended up doing is actually spending less on sponsored jobs. So I think at one point you were spending around 15. I think you're now down a lot lower than that.
Much lower than that. And that's it goes well for us and not so well for some of the platforms that are encouraging lots of high volume applications through. And I think as well, it's the being able to select where we spend our spend, as it were, where we apply our spend, and we've had a lot of help with that through Talent Track as well, in terms of investing in the right place.
Yeah. Now, when we first met, and I mentioned to you that we used AI, you really did embrace it, and you were very keen to be seen as a thought leader in your industry. Why do you want to be a thought leader?
Well, look, this is the leadership challenge of our age. AI, and there's a lot of noise and chatter about what AI can do. But I think it's inevitable that AI is here. It's going to change the way we operate. May not lead to lots of people leaving. It will be more like I'm an HR man by trade, so I would say the leadership challenge is that we need to scaffold it.
Yes,
and the introduction. With a whole raft of human-centric skills.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean things like moral decision-making.
Yes.
We need empathy. Those are hard things for robots to replicate.
Yes. Yeah.
So we need to bring common sense, if you like, to the whole process. And I think that's a leadership challenge. So I wanted to get involved because I find, we obviously had a particular issue to resolve, which it's helped us with. So in my mind, I increasingly now think about AI to help me solve all sorts of different problems.
Got you. And so in terms of solving that AI problem, it's funny because I often liken it to email. Email didn't kill the postman. That's a line that you can use in one of your records, I'm sure, and something you could write. But it didn't. But it changed people's attitudes and the way they worked. Do you think AI is going to have the same kind of impact where it's not going to cost anybody their job, but it's going to change fundamentally how we work and how we communicate?
Yeah, smarter people than me have said that you won't be replaced by AI, but you'll be replaced by somebody working with AI.
Yeah,
high likelihood, and it's a new technology, so it feels like a wheel.
Yeah,
so it does feel pretty revolutionary. In that sense, to coin a pun. Sorry about that. I didn't realise that. But it does. In all seriousness, I think it's as I say, increasingly there are lots of tools coming through. It's quite bewildering being a leader in this space. we like to get things right first time. All of us don't.
Yes. Yeah.
I think there's a degree of chaos and trial and error
Yeah.
with AI, trying things. But there are plenty of people out there that are developing expert solutions for particular problems. And we were very lucky, I think, when we met.
Yes.
So I had a particular problem. You had something you could offer from Talent Track that could help us.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you as a client, Richard. We really enjoy working with Active K. You've got a great team, and I think that always comes across through you as a leader. You're the head of that team, and they've been fantastic to work with. So, what do you think the future is going to be in terms of AI for your business?
Well, we've invested. I mentioned about great tools, great environments,
Yep.
and great people. We've invested significantly in our digital platforms. So we're looking at our rota system, we're looking at our care planning and documentation systems, our new HRIS system. I suspect we'll get that tech stack in place,
Yep.
and then we'll really be interested to look at the ways in which we can use AI, robotics, automation for some of those repetitive, high duplication type processes. So I think we're well placed as an organization to be focused on this stuff, and we're willing to learn, to listen, learn, and act. And I think I genuinely feel that about the organization. There's a lot of people around who are thinking about this, thinking about ways in which we could use it. It's not going to replace the therapeutic relationship of patient, face to face. But there's a lot of back office processes where it could really facilitate.
That's fantastic.
Respect over time.
Excellent. So, look, one final question for you. What's the one song, being an ex-musician or a musician, what's the one song you wish you'd written?
Oh, cripes. Okay. Any Beatles song.
Really?
For sure.
Big Beatles
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think my favorite song is Hey Jude. I think it has everything about it. It's got emotion. That piano that it's played on in Trident Studios is featured on countless other songs as well by great artists. You can recognize that piano a mile away. But it's also the refrain. It's the Beatles' creative process, which was fast. And even now, I've loved them for, I don't know, maybe all my adult life. They've been part of my adult life, and I just think that there's so much richness about their material. We keep going back. So I sing 8 days a week with my cover band. I sing that, play bass, which is trust me, that's to surround yourself with a fantastic team, whether you're in work or in a band, or whatever. You do that, and it's so much easier. It's so much more fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it asks me for work.
Excellent. Good. Richard, thank you very much for being on our podcast. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Automated Analytics podcast. Next episode coming up next week. See you soon, bears.